May I remind you, if you could keep it and keep your testimony to something that hasn't already been said?
Yes.
I understand it's an important study commission, and it is, but we also have other bills to hear this morning.
Understand, and I will be incredibly brief. For the record, Darryl Perry, CEO of Lobby LLC. And you might be asking yourself, what sort of right-to-know requests would someone file that they did not get either a response or an adequate response to? Well, I've filed a few of those myself. A couple of years ago, I saw the annual report from the New Hampshire Liquor Commission, and it listed $16 million worth of non-inventory assets. Non-inventory being things other than stuff on the shelves that would be sold. And I was curious, what sort of stuff, that accumulates to $16 million does the Liquor Commission have? So I filed a 91A request asking for documentation on the non-inventory assets, and wound up getting a letter that said, we have no documents relative to your request. Which leads me to the next question of, how do you know you have $16 million worth of stuff if you don't have documentation on that stuff? The other right-to-know request that I filed where I got a we have nothing relative was in response to the Concord Ballistic Engineered Armored Response Counterattack Truck application, where in that application they listed quote-unquote daily challenges from free staters and Occupy and sovereign citizens. So I wanted to know, what are these daily challenges? And they sent me a response that said, we have no documentation relative to your request. In both cases, the only way that I could even attempt to try to get the information was to file a lawsuit, which, as was previously mentioned, would have been fairly expensive. And, well, I didn't have the time or the money to wind up going to court. So if there was an alternative, then maybe I could have pursued it that way. This commission, as was mentioned before, would just look at and come up with proposals that would then be brought back before the legislature to hopefully be adopted. I think creating this commission is the first step in opening that up to where people do have some kind of recourse other than going to court, and I'll answer any questions.
Thank you.